Sarah's asking, what advice do you have for parents with kids who spend too much time comparing themselves to others on social media?
And that's what hurts my heart the most, I think, about this next generation, is because I didn't get a cell phone until I was 17, 18, like entering college. So I really didn't have that constant pressure to see how great everyone else was. I think instead of making them feel greater than their peers, help them just develop their own self-love through a skill or through an activity. Again, I really preached on art, because art is something that is so like spiritually fulfilling. It has nothing to do with like being accomplished. It's just something that fills your soul. So if you can enroll them in some type of activity that allows them to see a product of their own hard work and discipline, that can carry them through life. And I think it'll also give them a healthy distraction to get off of social media and stop the scroll and get offline and fill their soul. Oh, that rhymed.
Jonathan's sharing that I'm a parent to twins. Yeah. When one child does something inappropriate, do you think it's appropriate to parent or discuss or discipline in front of the other child, in front of both kids? Or is it beneficial to take the one child aside for a private conversation?
I think that always depends on the situation, what's going on. But I also think that there's great learnings for the other child, as long as you are doing things in a way where you are not casting judgment or making them feel like they're wrong or whatever the case may be, where the same thing I would do in talking to, in coaching two people that, or when you, Brendan, are on stage talking to one particular person, you're coaching that one person, but coaching everybody in the room as well. And so when you do that with a kid, again, I don't always pull my one of my kids aside unless it's something that's age appropriate. Right? So my 12-year-old right now in puberty, sex talks, things like that, I'm not going to do that around my 8-year-old, right? If he makes an inappropriate sexual comment, I'm not going to correct him there. I'm going to say, hey, let's go in the other room and talk about this, right? But if you've got twins of the same age, I think also in teaching the one kid in modeling behavior for them, the other one's going to learn about it as well. As long as you're not going, hey, you're wrong, your behavior is bad. Remember, behavior is not bad. Behavior can be, hey, you're not doing your best in this moment, right? I always really make sure to talk about things in momentary things, like, hey, do you think you're acting as your best right now, or do you think maybe something's coming up that we need to talk about? Is there something else upsetting you? What's really going on here, right? Getting out of universals and getting into, hey, you're not acting great right now, but I know you can do better. So let's think about how we can do that. Things like that. Hopefully that helps.
Amy's asking, do you have any strategies for co-parenting when you are going through a bad divorce?
Yeah, I did that whole thing. Just so you guys know, like my wife and I were divorced, custody battle, all the crazy, man. Here's what we did have as a thing, though. We understood that we actually talked on the same page about what do we want for the kids? Like outside of us, what do we want for the kids? We're like, we want them to be stable in the same school. So great. What does that look like? Because if I can put up on a pedestal what we both agree are the things best for the kids, I can hold the parent to doing the thing that's best for the kid. So what I mean by that is we don't want to have them changing schools because we decide to move or go somewhere. So no matter where we move, we kept in mind they're going to stay at the same school. So for 3 years while we were separate, I moved a couple times, but I still made sure I made the drive, and I kept that in mind to drive them when they had to go. Right. Other part is I told my ex at the time, I was like, look, I don't want my kids in any way, shape, or form to dislike you because of what you did to me. So I made sure, I told her, I was like, I would hopefully on the other side don't do the same. I was like, I'm not going to talk negatively about you. I'm not going to say bad things. There's no need, because what you did to me and how we had this, it's not a thing the kids have to deal with. And I don't want them to have this trauma or feel like they have to pick one or the other, because it's going to be an issue for them. It's like a movie. It's like movies. It's all in the movies because it's real life, right? So that was a big thing, is having a conversation of like, please don't think I'm going to say negative things, because it's not going to happen. I want our kids to be raised happy and healthy. That was one big piece. And the other one was, whenever I'm doing things that have to do with me, like switching off with you, I'm not going to try to use the kids as a tool against you. Now, the reason I'm saying I told her these things is because I think people reciprocate. Not always. There's moments in time when she gets, and then she does things. But I always would like to hold to my line of saying, look, I'm not going to use the kids. I'm not going to drop the kids off late and we got to go somewhere just because I know it's going to mess up your time frame and your new boyfriend going somewhere, right? I'm not going to do those things because I realize it's going to be something that comes back to me. And so I would explain that in advance, because like my twins, I always tell them like, hey, stop being mean to your sister, because you're going to need something from her at some point in time, and she's not going to do it. And it happened like an hour later, like, hey, can I get the math book? No, you wouldn't let me play on a computer. And like, see, there you go. Right. So the thing is I purposely would do things the right way because I told her I knew it would come back to me. So do know that I'm going to do what's right all the time. I'm going to make sure I'm on time because I don't want to come back to me in a negative way. These are little nuances for co-parenting, but I think a lot of it comes with, can you guys anchor as an actual clear conversation? What are we trying to do to be best for the kids? And when it comes to moments where I don't want to do that, I can then poke and hold us and look, I don't need this for me. I'm not asking for me, but Bobby or Tina, whatever. I can't think of a name right now. She needs this. It's a weird name, right? She needs this. So can you please do this for her or for him? That becomes a different conversation than asking for it for you when they don't like you.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember, you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.